Okay, so fun fact, I actually filmed this whole video earlier today and then watched the footage back and I had lipstick on my teeth the entire time. So we're doing it again. Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about all the books that I hope to read in the month of August. It is going to be a little bit predictable for some of you who's texting me right now. And the reason it's going to be predictable is because there's a few repeat offenders on this list. And not just repeat offenders from 1 month, but repeat offenders from months ago. But first, let's talk about the continuing read-alongs that I am participating in. I'm co-hosting a read-along of Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. We are kind of halfway through, a little bit under halfway through at this point, but absolutely loving this book. I think this is a 5-star prediction for me. I think it's gonna be a new favorite classic. It's gorgeously written. I really like the translation that I have. The translation is Isabel Hapgood, if anyone cares. It is really well written. And while Victor Hugo is incredibly verbose and has a lot to say about very specific things that don't end up being completely important to the story, the story itself is absolutely wonderful and gorgeous writing. And even though Victor Hugo didn't exactly, in my opinion, know when to lay off on the details, his story is really well crafted and I love the characters. I do love that we get very in-depth details about our characters and like what's going on in their minds, and I just love the story of Les Mis. So it's so like redemptive and depressing and also uplifting, but mostly depressing, and I'm loving it. It's actually not too late. If you still want to read this with us, we are going pretty slowly through it. So I will link my announcement video down below and also the other ladies who are co-hosting and give you some info about it in case you want to jump in midway through. I know there's a few people who are actually starting with us in August, even though we started back in July, but I know there's a few people that have been like, oh, I'm actually going to jump in now. The next book that I want to talk about is actually one that I hope I'll finish in July. I'm actually going to try to finish this in July. It's still July as of right now when I'm filming this, but that is Pilgrim's Regress by C.S. Lewis. I started buddy reading this with David Wiley, and he's finished it long ago. He has a video review on it. I'll link it down below. But I have been dragging my feet, and not really for any good reason other than, why is my dog trying to eat plastic right now? The only good reason that I have is I was reading it on ebook, and I forget about my ebooks a lot. So I'm going to pick up this. I only have like 150 pages left. I think we can finish this in July, but just in case I'm not finishing this in July, which is very possible, knowing me, it'll just be mentioned briefly in this August TBR. But this book is really cool. Actually, it is C.S. Lewis's first book that he wrote after becoming a Christian, and this is a kind of loosely built around Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. And so Pilgrim's Regress is about a man who's going through more of like a spiritual journey. It's still like a physical journey that he's traveling on, but all of the lands that he's going through represent like spiritual turmoil, if that makes sense. It's interesting. I'm really liking it. The next two books on this list are honestly just embarrassing at this point because it's been since like February since I've been reading this one. But that's John Adams. I put down John Adams a while back and didn't finish it. No good reason. Was really liking it. Other than it's a heavy nonfiction biography and it's really slow. It's not like slow content, but like slow reading. It's very dense, I should say. So I would really like to get this off of my plate finally. It's just been continuing on to every TBR technically, even though I haven't actually mentioned it for every TBR video, but it does loom over my head. So will August be the time to finish this biography? I don't know. It could become an honorary nonfiction November book at this point, but I hope not. And then the next book is also like that. I started it and then put it down, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And I'm not usually a person that starts books and puts them down, but for some reason this year, I have been doing that. I don't know why. I do not want to get into that habit. So I'm trying to get out of that habit. This is still on my TBR. I think I'll probably listen to an audiobook for this, which should help. So, yeah. I do want to read this very much. I was liking it. Again, no good reason why I have not read this yet. So with the pile of shame out of the way, let's go to some more new and exciting. Well, even this book is kind of like I should have read it a long time ago, but that is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I need to continue in this trilogy. I just realized I did start this. I did start the first chapter, and then it got sidetracked by other things, so no good reason for that. I really want to read fantasy again. I'm starting to really get in that place where I'm like, ooh, I miss some good high fantasy. I've been like even considering rereading Stormlight Archives, which is a terrible idea for me right now because I have so many other things I want to read first before I do that. But instead, I'm going to do some more high fantasy in the form of this, hopefully. And I really don't want to do audiobook on this. I want to read this physically, just because Robin Hobb's writing is gorgeous. But this is the second book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Very famous trilogy, very famous author, and a lot of my friends have read this already. A lot of my booktube friends already know what happens in the whole trilogy. And I got stuck after book 1, so would love to get to this in August. It's definitely, if I'm honest with myself, this is what I'm in the mood to read, so I really should just go with that mood. Another fantasy trilogy that I would like to make progress in and actually finish is the Grisha trilogy. I started reading this back end of last year, I think. And then I finished Siege of Storm. That's really hard to say. I finished Siege of Storm. S's are difficult. 2 months ago or so. And would really like to finish this trilogy. Was enjoying it. These are just really fun. Just a good time. So yeah, and then I can finally read Six of Crows, which was the whole reason that I wanted to read the Grisha trilogy in the first place, was to get to Six of Crows. So I can finally do that if I read this. Something that occurred to me the other day was that I started a Harry Potter reread and did not end up continuing after book 2 last year. So if I start now with book 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, and I do 1 book a month, I will actually finish this reread by December. So that is my new goal. I would like to finish my Harry Potter reread by the end of this year. And if I can do 1 book a month, we can make that happen. Now, I might want to do the audiobook for this, even though I have this gorgeous illustrated copy. I might want to do the audiobook because I've heard the audiobook is very good. Maybe I'll do both. Maybe I will look at the pretty pictures while I listen to the pretty voices. But yes, if I actually stick to this and I do 1 book a month, I could do a complete reread of the series, or finish it by the end of December. So we're gonna try it. Another couple books that are on my radar. One of them is maybe this is a pipe dream and I'm probably not gonna get to this, but I would love to read Sunland Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I actually ordered a copy this morning because I only decided today that I want to read along with my buddies who are doing this in August. There's a bunch of people that are reading this in August. There's Michael Nipp's Patreon group, which I missed last month's Patreon. I missed Name of the Wind, so I'm not going to try to do Name of the Wind right now. I think I'll wait for another time for that. But the next book is Sunland Ascends for his Patreon book club. I would love to read this because this is one of those books that you cannot watch a fantasy YouTuber without hearing about this book. This is one of those books that I'm just like, oh my goodness, enough with the Sunland Ascends already. Like, I will read it. So you've talked about it enough. I will read it. And so Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative also has a Discord buddy read going for this. I know a big reason that people are reading this right now is because I guess the 4th book is gonna be coming out at the end of the year. And so everybody's kind of hopping on this bandwagon, and I'm going to try as well. So I did order a copy today. It's on its way. Hopefully we'll get here soon. And yeah, I need to see what the fuss is all about. And then one more book that I would like to try and get to in August is an ebook. So good luck to me, because I'm not good at reading my ebooks. But this is The Last Heir by Summer Sullivan. And this book was actually so kindly given to me by the author for review. Summer is a brand new self-published author, and I thought her book looked really good and it sounded really good. It has a really cool cover, and so she kindly gave me a copy. I would really like to read more self-published authors, and so this is a really good, I think, opportunity for me to do that. And this book is YA fantasy, and it's the first in a series or trilogy, I forget which, but it looks and sounds really fun. Let me know what you are planning on reading in August. Dusty really wants dinner, so he has been walking around at my feet. So sorry if you've been hearing his little feet walking around, but he's hungry, so I'm gonna go feed him. But tell me what you are going to read in August, or if you don't really make TBRs, tell me which of these books you are most excited for me to read, or what you think I should read first. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep reading great books, and until next time, bye-bye.